I only ate the world's strangest sandwich for 24 hours. I feel absolutely terrible. Over 2,000 calories, 6 different stops, and I found it right here in... Ever since the 4th Earl of Sandwich first slapped roast beef between 2 slices of bread, lunch has never been the same. Pretty much every nation on earth now has its own take on his handheld snack, from the pastrami on rye to the croque monsieur, and I bloody love the things. But it was when I was researching the world's best sarnies that I first laid eyes on this breaded beast. A concoction so unhealthy, so ridiculous, it should probably come with a health warning, or several. So naturally, I had to try it. But sadly, this isn't something you can find in your Tesco meal deal. To get a taste of this monstrosity, I had to fly directly to the source, which was 980 miles away. So with hand luggage and an empty stomach, I hit the skies. And 2.5 hours later, I landed into my destination when most restaurants were already shut for the night. Well, it's almost 1 a.m, but I made it inside the guest house. I'm here, so it's time to get some rest, because tomorrow we feast. And because I travelled so far, I wanted to make it count by seeing just how many of these unholy creations I could eat in a single day. What the hell am I doing? But first, a location reveal. In my experience, food is usually a reflection of its environment, so the world's most unique sandwich could only come from a very unique city. Well, good morning and welcome to the beautiful city of Porto up in northern Portugal, a place that is probably best known for a drink. You can see all the very British sounding names of the port houses across the river there, and I'll definitely be trying some of that later on. But this city is also the birthplace of a very unique sandwich, and it shouldn't be too hard to find. Whilst port lodges may dominate the riverside, another name echoes around the streets of Porto. A local legend comprised of 5 different meats smothered with cheese, encased in thick slices of bread, then crowned with a fried egg, and even more cheese. But that's not all. This towering titan can't be eaten without its spicy, alcohol-soaked sauce. 2,000 calories of pure indulgence. And that's before the fries. This is the fearsome Francesinha, the iconic signature sandwich of this city. I already made a list of the 6 best rated spots selling this titanic treat, and I plan to eat at all of them, but actually getting to my first location wasn't as easy as it sounds. Well, definitely going to be burning off some calories in this city, which is probably a good thing. Even the shortest distances take ages just because of all of these hills. Haven't eaten anything today in preparation, so at least I'm getting more hungry. The first place that I'm heading towards is actually pretty famous. It was featured in Parts Unknown, the Anthony Bourdain show, and it's where he tried his very first Francesinha, so I've got high hopes. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. With that, I stepped into my first food arena, and under Tony's watchful gaze, I began to implement my game plan. Pretty early on, I identified this dish as perfect soakage. Much like a 3 a.m. doner kebab, Francesinhas are best consumed after copious amounts of booze. And I managed to sink 3 of these bad boys, so good, before I finally came face to face with my first opponent of the day. So, I got to work. Well, that was insane, as expected, to be honest. When it first came out, I didn't think it looked too crazy, but that thing really was dense. It was like a brick of meat, cheese, egg. Oh, it was heavy. Now, obviously, the meat inside was really well cooked. It was nice and juicy, but I've got to say, the star of the show is that sauce. It was a little bit tomatoey, it was a bit spicy, but it also had another edge to it, which I think is the alcohol in there. It supposedly got beer and maybe a bit of port in the sauce as well. Oh my god, this is insane. And surprisingly, I'm not too full, so I think I can manage another one. And the next place I'm planning to go to is about 25 minutes away, so I've got a chance to burn off some of the calories, and then we can go again. And to be honest, 3 beers in, let's just carry it on. But little did I know that this was just a snack compared to what was coming next. So far though, my game plan was working perfectly, and after a little caffeine boost, I hit the slopes once again. These hills, they're gonna kill me. The more time I spent in Porto, the more I realised that the Francesinha could only have come from the steep, stacked streets of this city. Back in the 1950s, this monster was brought to life by local Dr. Frankenstein, Mr. Daniel David da Silva, who fell so deeply in love with the croque monsieurs he ate in France that he decided to come back home and supersize it, creating a dish that quickly became known as the Little Frenchie, or in Portuguese, Francesinha. And the restaurant where he first served it was only a few stops away on my list. Before that though, I was headed through the golden gates of yet another local favourite, where I didn't even need a menu, because I had a front row seat for the best show in town. From behind the bar, Little Frenchies were flying out to literally every table. So I placed my order and continued with my strategy, sinking 2 more finos before I was confronted with my second challenger of the day, which was in a whole different weight class. It's safe to say that from this point, my day took a pretty severe turn. Well, that has absolutely killed me. Oh my god. This one was a lot bigger, it was way more meaty. There was at least 2 more meats in that sandwich, and I could really taste sort of a spicy sausage that definitely wasn't in the last one. But oh my god. I was struggling to finish it. The food coma is coming on. Honestly, these things, they're beasts. I powered through the whole plate, but to be honest, by this point, I was stuffed. And with 4 more stops left on my list, this obviously wasn't good news. I'm not gonna lie, lads, I feel absolutely terrible. I've got the meat sweats. I feel like I need a salad just to balance it all out. I was in desperate need of a reset. So in the spirit of my original plan, I opted for the next best thing to a salad, crossing the bridge towards those ever-present names hanging under the sky. I sipped a couple of grape juices under the Portuguese sun, and I'd love to say that the drinking reset me, but the truth is, I spent most of the time on the toilet. I was done. I just couldn't restart the engine, and I was feeling pretty sorry for myself at this point. I only had a few more hours till my flight home, and 4 more stops were left on my list. So I was left to watch the sunset and contemplate my options. Surely I'd come way too far to give up this soon. So I got moving. In a desperate attempt to shed a few more calories, I skipped some of the classic stops on my list and took the scenic route towards my final destination, which was closest to the airport. My only hope was to make some small space for one last Frenchie, taking me to the halfway point. So this really was the final boss. What the hell am I doing? I'm not even hungry. And this one is an absolute slab of a sandwich, covered in sauce, with the chips, with the fino, the full works. It's got to be done. So if I'm found dead tomorrow morning, you know what it's going to be, don't you? It's going to be heart failure from Francesinha overdose. Come on then, let's do it. Just look at that meat. Just look at the layers. One last ride. I'll never eat another sandwich again.